Good morning and welcome back. All right, it's a flip-flop. I don't really, can I follow this bouncing ball when it comes to what's happening with the vaccine mandates and truck drivers? Let's bring in Mike Eppel. He's going to break it down. Mike, this time yesterday morning, first of all, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right. We're just trying to follow along here. The vaccine mandate for truck drivers cross-border, that was supposed to go into effect the 15th. Yesterday, at this time we were talking, and it was, nope, that's not going to happen. We know there's a supply chain issue that's going to be lifted in the interim. And now it's back on. Can you help us follow along this timeline?
It was never actually off.
So it was an error.
Three government ministries late yesterday afternoon, hours after that report was circulated by the Canadian press, it took three government ministers to say that the initial report about that vaccine mandate being lifted was sent out in error. How did it take that long, first of all, for that actually somebody to figure out that the news was circulating? And then the fact that the feds were just saying, yeah, no, as of this weekend, there is going to be a vaccine mandate for unvaccinated cross-border truck drivers. And we should have actually maybe known something was strange here, Melanie, because it was only supposed to be Canadian truck drivers. The U.S. mandate was still in effect. So there was a little disconnect there. But the bottom line here is that, you know, the thinking is this is going to hit the supply chain, because you're now talking about something like 25 or 26,000 truck drivers estimated to have no vaccinations and could just be held up at the border because they don't have their paperwork in order. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this filters through to the consumer level.
I'm still stuck on the sent out by error, but maybe that's just me. Okay, let's talk about, how does that happen? Let's talk about Ontario businesses. You know, a lot of people gearing up, whether or not, you know, circled that January 26th date to get back into businesses here in the province. Whether or not that's going to happen and who this will work for is the question.
And how close do they actually wait again to make an official announcement, go or no go, for all of the businesses that are currently shut down under the COVID restriction rules? That's been a major criticism of all of the business groups, that basically saying the Ford government always waits till the last hour before actually making a decision, a decisive decision. And then subsequently, you know, that just, if you're a restaurant, you got all this food sitting around in your freezer or in the fridge going, okay, what do I do with all this stuff? So it would be nice to know sooner rather than later. But the flip side, of course, is how long are you just going to keep businesses operational by just feeding them government money as opposed to letting them do what they do? And does this actually affect the pace, the rapid pace of the spreading of the Omicron variant? And then, I mean, look, I'm looking at the calendar for February, and you got a lot of planning going on in the entertainment industry, for example. A lot of big concerts are supposed to happen next month, Melanie, whether it's Richard Marx at Fallsview or Dua Lipa at the Scotiabank. The concert organizers want an answer like yesterday. You know,
you gave some really different examples there, Mike. Who would you rather watch? Is awesome. Dua Lipa or Richard Marx?
I cannot confirm nor deny that members of the family have tickets to see Dua Lipa, and my wife and I have seen Richard Marx, and he's awesome, and I'd love to see him again. Don't have tickets, and I don't know if that show's happening. Just saying.
Okay. He chooses Dua Lipa. Okay, we have time for one more. Interest rates. We know that they're going to get hiked. It's the timing on it. What do you know?
We're going to have a decision from the Bank of Canada on January 26th, and at least one of the big banks, JP Morgan Chase, an economist report there this week, says that the Bank of Canada could raise on the 26th far sooner than a lot of other economists are thinking. And I read the report, and I'm like, thinking back, there have been in the past decade 2 occasions that the central bank has actually caught the market off guard with a January rate increase. So do not be surprised if we start to see rates going up. Let's face it, inflation is way up, and the banks are, they want to hit the brakes a little bit, and maybe sometimes a shock to the system is better to kind of catch consumers' attention. And wouldn't that have some implications for the real estate market and all sorts of the very changed dynamic? This is something we're going to be talking about a lot this year, about the interest rate variables and how that's going to affect all sorts different parts of the economy.
No doubt. All right, Mike, have yourself a wonderful weekend. We'll talk again
Thank
Monday.
you. Okay, take care.
Take care.